Fast forward a few years and I'm at a school called the Art Students League in New York, where I've been teaching for about a decade. And it's a particularly important school because it's part of the kind of breadbasket of notable artists in our country going back from great abstraction to great realism, and its birthday is 1875, June 2nd. It was founded by an artist who was born in America but trained partially in Germany named Lemuel Wilmarth, and he was the only teacher at the Art Students League in the early days and taught for free. And when the program became more formalized in the 1880s, that's when William Merritt Chase began his rise to prominence within the Art Students League. Now, it was discussed, according to the archives that I've gone through, the structure of the Art Students League, which was the premier structure of art training in the United States back in the day. They were worried about too much German influence because they thought that it would cause a sloppiness in the student work. It would do something damaging to the consistency of learning within the program. And so they wanted to limit the influence of Chase and the influence of people like Wilmarth or Duveneck and accelerate the influence of people who studied in Paris. So I read this, and of course I want to look into German training because there's something about the German training as exhibited by William Merritt Chase back in those days which really caught on and had an incredible influence on art painting in our country. I think, from what I've been able to gather, that there's a boldness to German painting, and this stems from a boldness from German drawing, from studying the body in ways that were not limited by techniques. They were more aspiring to the vision of the artist. Again, it has a kind of precedent, which is the student works in the 1880s and 1890s at the League that were done under the tutorship of an instructor called H. Siddons Mowbray. Mowbray studied, he was born in Egypt, but he studied in Paris. He studied with Bonnat. So he sort of trained under the Parisian system, and yet he was very influenced by Spanish painting. And he gets back to the United States and he orchestrates a system wherein every figure, they're never cropped, they're always top to bottom, they're always very clean, they're orchestrated in a way that is very unusual. It's very foreign to the eyes of anybody that I know in terms of looking into drawing going back in the day. They were done in vine charcoal and in Conte crayon, which isn't mixed very often anymore. They were done at a scale that's approximately 22 by 30, so it's bigger than the common scale now. They were done in a very linear technique, and then they were almost veiled using the stump to orchestrate kind of a light and shadow system. And that's how people learned. I just don't want the process itself to become extinct because, again, I'm trying to disentangle it from an agenda because I just think it's about knowing. And the more you know, the more flair you have in what you do, and the more choice and design and beauty you can find. And by beauty, I'm not saying prettiness, I'm saying sublime, something beyond you, which is what I pursue in my own teaching.